escorted out.
Welcome to Trailblazers Stadium, Lakewood, Colorado, the west side of the Denver metropolitan area. Getting ready for Class 5A Jeffco Lacrosse. It'll be the Columbine Rebels taking on their neighborhood rival, the Chatfield Chargers, coming up on Stream It Sports.
At the northeast corner of the stadium. Senior number 28, Brock Harmon.
The Lax in Lakewood. That's what we're getting ready for. The Columbine Rebels against the Chatfield Chargers. A couple of programs that know each other so very well. Maybe off the field friendly, but here tonight, they want a piece of each other, and you definitely want to get a win against your neighborhood rival. So it's going to be Columbine and Chatfield. Columbine consistently a top 5 team in the state of Colorado. They'll be taking on a rising program in the Chatfield Chargers. It is our lacrosse game of the week here on Stream It Sports, which is brought to you in part by Pan Am International Flight Academy and All Nippon Airways. So let's go ahead and take a look at the resumes for each of these squads, and you look at Columbine there, what they've done through the course of the season so far under head coach Henry Sulzbacher, just stringing a bunch of wins together, and then they had troubles against Cherry Creek. We had that broadcast for you here last week on Stream It Sports. Creek jumped on them early with an 8-0 lead, but then Columbine became the Rebels once again in the second half. Lewis Palmer date, that got canceled, and then you see the strong win by Columbine over Palmer. Chatfield, what they've done throughout the course of the season, stumbled a little bit to get things going under head coach, second-year man Nick Mandia, and then got a roll going. 3 consecutive wins, took that loss to RC, but a strong victory over BC just last, Monday against Bear Creek 15-3. And as you see, our lacrosse game of the week is presented in part once again by ANA, that is All Nippon Airways. Hello to the folks in Japan, and also the Pan Am Flight Academy, which is settled over in the old Stapleton area in North Denver. Let's look at the starters for Chatfield. You can see some of the studs there. Boy, they're heavy on attack. They've got some great ones up there. You see Larson, and Connor Ross is going to catch your attention. David Graham on the face-off X. Herder is an outstanding young defensive midi. And then you've got Phelan and Gannon, who are, again, 2 young guys playing the defense for Coach Nick Mandia. The starters for the Columbine Rebels, there's a lot of next-level talent right up top of the screen. There's Gabe Mean, very athletic Tanner Hollins, Patrick Stottlemyre getting the start on attack. On the X for the face-off will be Dylan Leinhart. You won't miss him. Mitchell Tiedman, Chislett, again, those middies, and then you see some of those defensemen. Of course, Gavin Bielman, who is a next-level goaltender, will be guarding the cage for Henry Sulzbacher's Columbine Rebels. Mr. Sulzbacher, first-year head coach. He's got his team 6-1 overall again. Their lone loss is to one of the top teams in the state, the defending champions, Cherry Creek. I'm Marty Cesario. Honored to be here with you, and we'll describe the action. All the visuals and the audio provided by Phil Mildren, Mike Trujillo, and their crew. As you see the captains, a healthy set of captains, by the way, out there at midfield, getting ready to start off this game at Trailblazers Stadium in Lakewood, Colorado. You're going to see some jerseys flipping around because it is a little bit chilly, and we'll share some weather stats and then get the things going with the Face-Off X coming up very soon. Get things going here at Trailblazer. 12 on the board to get the first quarter going. You see on the face-off X, Linehart's going to take on David Graham. And that should be fun to watch throughout the course of this game between the Columbine Rebels and the Chatfield Chargers. Class 5A Jeffco Lacrosse action beginning right about now here on a Friday night on the west side of the Denver metro area. So Linehart controls that opening face-off. He'll get off and allow Nick Darrow to step in as a midi, trailing into your picture eventually, but for right now, opening possession in favor of Columbine. Visual setup for you, wearing all whites, trimmed in gray and the dark blue. Those are the Columbine Rebels, top 5 team in the state. Defending right now in their defensive zone, Chatfield, wearing their familiar maroon. They've got the black lids, most of them wearing gray shorts. So Chatfield, maroon, Columbine, white, just started here at Trailblazer. Shot going the way of the goaltender, and it does get through. So solving Alec Long are the Rebels. They've got an early 1-0 lead. Trying to get a read on who made that shot. Okay, so verification, that's Tanner Hollins, the multi-sport stud for the Columbine Rebels. 1 on the board, 11:15 mark. Hollins scores for Columbine. So it's the Rebels that popped the cork on the scoreboard and have officially started us off here just 45 seconds into the contest. Again, Tanner Hollins scores at 11:15. Another nice battle there between Graham. I think David Graham's going to come out with it. Pushes it backwards. There's a chance for one of his long poles. And we continue a scrum. Nice subtle boot by one of the Chargers. Eventually chasing it down was Peyton Winters for Columbine. So the Rebels will try to clear with a 1-0 lead after the Tanner Hollins goal at 11:15. The exchange of middies as Columbine settles in. Set it back up top. Down low, home, and then reverse it back across this way to Hollins. That stash up top along with Nate Surd. Advancing for a moment was Mean, got it to the inside, eventually a score for Nick Darrow.
Nick Darrow puts it in.
So Columbine's got 2 scores on the board within roughly the first 2 minutes of the game. Nick Darrow, most recently, right there, number 40, center of your screen. And a quick 2-0 lead for the Columbine Rebels. Nick Darrow on his way to play for the Mercer Bears in Georgia. Fast and shifty kid for more than a couple of years for this Columbine program. Just scored for the Rebels, again to make it 2-0. Change of pace at the face-off X. Robert Connolly doing a nice job. A Connolly win at the face-off X. Possession established once again for Columbine. Across the way, Gabe Mean yields up top David Dooley. As Jackson Trail steps into the play, there he is, number 2.
Let's go, defense!
Leo Grossman. Rebels being patient with their 2-0 lead here in the first quarter in Lakewood. Grossman trying to work the dodge. Excellent defense on the part of the Chatfield face-off specialist, David Graham. Mean looking to release left side. No. That's a shake and bake and an ankle breaker there by David Dooley. Non-scoring play that would still look good on a showcase highlight. The crowd reacted. Hollins looking to feed. He finds Gabe Mean, and that's a score for the Rebels.
Finishing for Columbine from number 20, Tanner Hollins.
So Hollins from the X spot, you see on the replay, finds a cutting Gabe Mean a clean receive, and a great shot by Gabe Mean. So the future Utah Ute gets one on the board, and a timeout for Chatfield. A 3-0 lead for the Columbine Rebels.
After playing the game for many years, and I decided I could either watch from the couch or get on the field and become part of the game.
I became a judge because it was a natural transition from being a gymnast to coach, now judge.
I love the large crowds, the excitement of the game, and you know what? I got the best seat in the house.
Help these kids. Help this community. Become an official.
He looks good. For what? It's sharp. Oh, I like your hair. Pretty tree. Pretty tree. Return to Trailblazer Stadium, Lakewood, Colorado. Jeffco Lacrosse. Strong start by the Columbine Rebels. Tanner Hollins, Nick Darrow, Gabe Mean have scored here in the first quarter of play. So the guys in white have a nice beginning to this lacrosse contest. And a familiar look as Gabe Mean advances. A face-off win for the Rebels. Now Columbine's working with it in the offensive zone, and Chatfield defending once again. Three goals in the first roughly 3 minutes for Columbine as Nick Darrow works the dodge. Feeds over to Hollins, and there's another goal on the board. It'll be second of the night for Tanner Hollins.
For Columbine is second. Nick Darrow, number 40, set him up.
Darrow gets credited with the assist. It's really a two-man game on the near side, with Darrow finding Hollins' fourth goal on the board rapidly for the Columbine Rebels. Columbine 6-1. Last week, we all got to witness what occurred against Cherry Creek, the defending champions. Fair to say they got thumped and jumped on early in that game. Long talk with head coach Henry Sulzbacher. Actually took the positive route, using a Bill Gates reference, which I put on Twitter, saying success is a lousy teacher, and that was their chance to learn a few things about themselves. They had a strong second half in that game. Strong win against Palmer just a couple of days ago, and here they are with a 4-0 lead early on against their Jeffco rival in the Chatfield Chargers. This is a rarity, so we'll see if this establishes some momentum for Chatfield. They have not spent much time in the attacking zone. So we'll get a first look at the offensive attack of Chatfield. Near side, Connor Killian meets two defenders, long pull with a high check, knocks the ball free, eventually picking it up for Columbine is Brock Harmon, the captain. And advancing forward, Tanner Hollins on a very quick clear after a forced turnover by the defense of the Rebels. Jackson Trail up top with David Dooley working around to Gabe Mean. He's going to come back home behind the cage. There's a subtle pick and a screen from Hollins, and then a shot comes. Bounce attempt off the ground and a score. Leo Grossman, the junior, for the Columbine Rebels. There's a look at the replay. Crank, fire. find the twine. Leo Grossman, kid who missed a couple of years with knee injuries, kept coming back, kept suffering injuries. Here he is in his junior year, getting a chance to participate, contribute, and then show off those kind of skills. So a goal by Grossman at 6:44 and a 5-0 lead for Columbine. Dylan Leinart,
Chatfield ball.
brutal, but then whistled for it. David Graham trying to advance forward, flips it behind his back, trying to get it over to Connor Killian. Not the case. One of the long poles for Columbine eventually picks it up. How about that? A couple of GBs in a row for Brock Harmon, the senior D-man. And look at the help by Gavin Beelman. Coming up, he's at the 30-yard line advancing. He's going to go to pay dirt.
Nice, Andy.
Andy Stash on the near side. Over to Patrick Stottlemyre and Gabe Mean. That's Stottlemyre behind the net. Aggressive shadow defensively by Chatfield. Stottlemyre looking to release. He does, and the crowd groans and moans because it hit the post. So Stottlemyre looked pretty true, but found the post on the stick side of the goaltender. Columbine in white with Gabe Mean dodging, gets one off. Nice save on the part of Alec Long. Goaltender's a good story for Chatfield. They have a couple of good ones as Gabe Mean again stuffed. He's right up front, doorstep shot. Good help by the defense. Jeremy Hill, eventually Alec Long is getting harassed right now. Call that forechecking, eh, by Gabe Mean. So a nice showing by number 8 in the cage for Chatfield, Alec Long. Great story. Nick Mandia has a couple of really good goaltenders, and instead of having them compete, he challenged them to work together and share the position. They've done it so well. He says, you know, that's a credit to their maturity as young men. Do a great job, both Alec Long and Daniel Nichols. One of the strong points of Chatfield lacrosse right now, and you saw some of that on the couple of saves by Alec Long, who now is staying sharp because Columbine's reversing the ball around with ease, waiting that shot. It's not coming yet. Darrow collapses, but a good job getting it up in the air. Reset to the middies. Look at these exchanges. Rebels looking good on the attack. They have 5 goals on the board already in the first quarter. And there's miscommunication. Mean trying to find a charging Andy Stash. I usually wouldn't call him out on a high school level broadcast, but you're up 5-0, so I think you can take it. Goals by Grossman, Darrow, Mean, and 2 by Hollins. 5-0 lead Columbine. Contact across the way around the midfield line. And the Rebels come up with possession once again. We have rarely seen Chatfield on the attack here in this first quarter. So a challenge to the Chargers' defensive middies and their D-men. Jared Herder on the near side, trying to seal for his goaltender for Chatfield. Herder's number 20, right in front of Alec Long. Herder comes out for a moment, and there's a switch defensively. Wildermuth also helping out down low. Looks like that defense is fortified well. That may be part of the story why this possession twice in a row has been so lengthy for Columbine. Then also good patience on the part of the Rebels with a 5-0 lead. The crowd wanted Dooley to let it go. Instead, Grossman lets one fly, saved by Alec Long. Closest is Chatfield, so good work. On the part of Chatfield is Charlie Wildermuth, the junior, coming down, trying to clear on his own. Gets it checked free. Wildermuth somehow comes out with it once again. That's number 3, getting harassed by Mitchell Tiedemann. And they do successfully get the clear, so here's Chatfield once again, trying to set up an offensive possession. Josh Larson over to Connor Killian. Reset up top. Over to Robbie Nelson. Across the way, that's Donovan McMahon. Coach Mandia trying to get some instigation offensively by his middies. Chatfield's really strong on the attack in terms of positioning. Their middies are developing. I said that was a point of emphasis, trying to get the middies to be the instigators in their offensive setup. Chargers got to be happy with this possession just in terms of length, changing the momentum of the game for a little bit. Connor Ross up top. Ross, one of the top point producers. Aggressive defense on the part of Andreas Lucero, forcing Ross to get rid of it. Chargers taking a shot from up high, and they get one in. That's a goal for the senior captain, Brian Pierce. And Chatfield's got one on the board. Chatfield dads chanting, "Let's go, let's go." They like the look of that as Brian Pierce scores at the 1:04 mark in the first quarter to draw blood for the first time for the Chatfield Chargers. So just over a minute left in the first, and a first goal has been achieved by Brian Pierce and Chatfield. Nice tight shot there from Mike and his cameras. That's another win by Robert Connolly until a ground ball forced. Chargers having some life.
Timeout called by Chatfield.
Well, eventually it was a ground ball pickup by John Locke, and Chatfield's going to have possession, and they take the timeout. It's a 5-1 lead. Columbine looking good, but Chatfield has momentum. Brian Pierce waiting for the go signal. Pierce has the lone goal for Chatfield. That was just about 20 seconds ago. The Chargers have some momentum established here on the back end of the first quarter. Still down 4, but this is a good look for Nick Mandia, the head coach, and his Chargers, establishing a little bit of momentum for their attacking units. Again, Brian Pierce just scored not too long ago. See that shot attempt a little too wide. By the way, technical note, we do not have running clock on your score bug on your screen because of a loss of internet connectivity based off of weather from yesterday here in the Jefferson County area. Very strong wind gusts attacked the internet towers to where we were off with Terra connectors and gigaputs and things above my head. So no score bug for you. By the way, the weather continues to affect us. You see how cloudy it is, kind of a dark look, flat light. Wear your clear goggle lenses to watch this one. 31 mile per hour gusts here at game time. Wind chill values down to 14 degrees. You will see people bundled up, as you can kind of see some of the coaching staff for Chatfield down in the bottom. Meanwhile, after Brian Pierce scored at the 1:04 mark, that brought Chatfield to within 4. But a strong start for Columbine. They're up 5-1 after 1. Second quarter play coming up on Stream It Sports.
There comes a time in every athlete's life when their participation in sports is coming to an end, and so officiating is a way to stay involved.
The day I started officiating is just as fun as now.
When I'm officiating, making decisions, a decision that's instantaneous, for me there's no greater feeling.
I became an official because I wanted to give back.
Get off the couch and get into the game.
Become an official.
Good look at the crew from Columbine High School, 5-1 lead. Scored the first 5 goals in the game. Henry Sulzbacher on the left side of your screen, letting his assistants do the discussions. The gentleman with the white hat, again, we talked about how cold it is out there. White hat left side of your screen with his hands deep in the pockets. First-year man heading the program for Columbine, and very nice start for him, as they are consistently in the top 5 in 2018. They are definitely in the conversation for who could possibly meet us in May at Mile High Stadium for the championship game. So good start for Columbine, 5-1 lead. Glad to bring you Jeffco Lacrosse between these two rivals, the Rebels and the Chargers, supported in part by Pan Am International Flight Academy, training support for airlines and aviation professionals with an instruction heritage rooted to the earliest days of airline flight training, and also All Nippon Airways from the United States to Japan and all of Asia. Phil Mildren, Mike Trujillo, their crew carrying the load. I'm just following along. Marty Cesario on the call. Engage with us on the Twitters at Stream It Sports, if you will. If you want to hook up with the programs, at Columbine_Lax or at Chatfield Senior. Meanwhile, play underway. And a Chatfield win on the faceoff X as David Graham takes a hacking, but the Chargers look like they're going to get a shot off there. Nice retreat on the part of Chatfield. That's Connor Killian, the senior captain. Killian once again has it back home, and Coach Mandia puts in his middies, trying to find Donovan McMahon to get in the play. He does. McMahon's going to advance on his own, being shadowed defensively by Andy Stash. That's Andy Stash defending. You might see Jake Hinson doing a good job denying the pass to the X-spot back there. Meanwhile, ground ball, and that's going to be picked up by a long pole. So here, the clear on his own, Andreas Lucero finds Gabe Mean, and here come the Rebels with a 4-goal lead. Stottlemyre, reset up top to the point. A lot of space there, so no issues for Andy Stash. And he looks for Nate Surd to come into the play. So the Rebels working the ball around once again, doing a good job exchanging it, passing it around. Very little unforced errors until the broadcaster will jinx them right out of their possession. My bad. Sorry, guys. Just trying to set you up. Just like at the house of she, it's sometimes best if I'm quiet. Chatfield down 4. They still have scored the most recent goal. That was the Brian Pierce goal at the 1:04 mark at the end of the first quarter. We're 2 minutes into the second. Rebels looking good. Both teams in the meat of Jeffco play now in Class 5A lacrosse. So you see that stab and a nice save on the part of Gavin Beelman. And then a flag goes up in the air. And I believe this will present a man-up situation for Chatfield.
Body check on number 4 for Columbine, 1-minute penalty.
Man on a knee for 60 seconds. And a man-up situation for Chatfield, trailing by 4, but starting to put together some things here in this contest after being jumped on very early. They go down low, find Larson. There he is. Pierce is at the point. 2-man game with Larson, and then across to Connor Ross. And those would be the names you would expect to be involved in the goal-scoring contributions. Like right there, there's Ross releasing. Beelman was on it. Closest to Chatfield. They'll maintain possession. Graham over to Larson once again. See if they work it back around to Larson. Nick Mandia says Larson's their best shooter. Larson cuts to the interior, screens one of the Columbine defenders. That ball goes out of bounds for just a moment. Chatfield's going to keep it. Graham will chase it down. Coach Mandia says David Graham is the heart and soul of the Chatfield squad. There's a shot, sidearm release, and a save by Gavin Beelman. Defense trying to pick it up for the Rebels, not going to happen. And again, closest, at least I thought so, was Chatfield, and I am correct. They'll be awarded possession. Trust myself there. So a long possession established once again for Chatfield. We saw none of that in the first, let's call it 9-10 minutes of this game. And that's a credit to the defense. Sidearm release up top, and Gavin Beelman is very dialed in, as you would expect from a future collegiate player. Beelman will play in Utah at Westminster College. He'll be a Griffin. Under 8 to play, second quarter. Rebels still with that 4-goal lead. Kind of get a read on different combinations for Coach Sulzbacher in this situation, being firmly in command. Doesn't look like much in terms of changes. Grossman has a goal and the ball, and then he gives it over to Trail. Across the way, Taylor Gustafson. Dad's barking out their orders underneath us. You may be doing the same as you're watching along. I know there's family members in Hawaii, Brazil, Miami. Shot, score, Jackson Trail. 6:55 mark. The sophomore attack, Jackson Trail. Looks to release high, goes low, and bounces it underneath the goaltender. And there's the replay. That's great. Showed it up high, and then bounced it at the tip of the toes. Again, 6:55 mark, second quarter. Jackson Trail, his first goal of the game. So 6 goals on the board for Columbine, 5 different goal scorers, including Jackson, who just scored.
Columbine will have it.
So the Rebels win that face-off, awarded possession, and now you'll see more guys in white working the ball around after Jackson Trail just scored about 20 seconds ago. The Rebels looking like a team that may equal or eclipse the best they've done as a program. They went to the semifinals in 2013. With the makeup and personnel they have in 2018, their expectations are very high. Right to the middle, finds Mean, couldn't hang on to it, lost it. But Columbine's going to keep possession. Quick reaction by Taylor Gustafson. Chatfield defense packed in to where you see this.
Around to number 22,
Nate Surd scoring.
Number 40, Nick
It's
Duro.
what the defense wants to do in terms of their mission tonight, is force those longer releases from far away. No doorstep attempts. But then you see something you just can't beat sometimes, and that's just great work on the part of Nate Surd. Found a spot, high velocity, able to get one through. Nate Surd scores at 5:37 for Columbine. Now a 6-goal lead for the Rebels. So Nate Surd, his first goal. The only multi-goal scorer in the game is Tanner Hollins, who opened the game 45 seconds in with a goal and then scored one at 7:50 in the first quarter. Tanner's got 2. Darrow, Mean, Grossman, Trail, and Surd each have 1 for the Columbine Rebels, who are looking pretty good in this contest here on a cloudy, cold, early evening at Trailblazers Stadium in Lakewood, Colorado. 6:11 Mountain Time, under 5 to play on the clock. 4:47, tick, 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 remaining in the first half. Chatfield comes up with the ball. Boy, that's a nice little nifty piece of work on the part of Cody Freeman, the senior D-man.
Laundry on the field.
And I think he drew a flag too. Number 10, the long pole, you'll see the replay. Watch him, he hits it with his shaft and then absorbs the contact, but taking a swipe at it to send it back to his goaltender, Alec Long, to reset the clear attempt. So excellent job on the part of the senior Cody Freeman there. Now a discussion across the way as we get a nice tight look. Again, the weather, referees layering up. Looks like the chill is even affecting the knees of the officials.
Number 7, Leo Grossman, a Columbine, 1-minute penalty.
So this will be a shot to the head called 60 seconds, man-up situation for Chatfield. So an opportunity for the Chargers here as they advance over into the attacking zone. Rebels will pack it in defensively. See what Chatfield can do. Ross and Pierce up top. You'll see David Graham come into the picture. And that is Graham running things from the X spot back there and back up top to Pierce. Pierce has the only goal. He fed it to his teammate Connor Killian. And there it is, a man-up goal for the Chatfield Chargers. off the stick head of Connor Killian. Assist by Brian Pierce. 19, Killian, right there. Here's the replay. Really brought it up high, left the elbows up high, and then whizzed it right past Gavin Beelman for the goal. A little love there from his teammate Connor Ross. And that has to feel good for the Chatfield Chargers. 3:51 mark. Connor Killian, man up to bring Chatfield to within 5.
Chatfield ball.
Chargers awarded possession this time, so there's Graham moving up. Again, we talked about David Graham and some of the comments Nick Mandia, the head coach, had talked about with David Graham, how he was the heart and soul of the team. You'll see him on face-offs, just a tough kid, plays football for Brent McGatlin. Really too small to play football, but it's that toughness that allows him to excel in that sport too. Said there'd be a David and Goliath scenario, which works. David Graham, right? Well, he's the David. The Goliath is Leinhart on the face-off X, and David Graham has really played well for Chatfield. 3 minutes left in the second quarter. Still a 5-goal lead for Columbine, and they have possession. As you see, Gustafson working it around. Darrow, send it up top. Reset, Andy Stash, this way, over to Nate Surd. Pretty much everybody I'm calling out has scored so far for the Rebels. Stash has not scored yet. There's a shot attempt that hit the stick of one of the defensemen. I think the release was from Gabe Mean. Nearest are the Rebels. So Tanner Hollins, who has 2 goals in this game, will stand there and await the go. Gustafson over to Mean. Alec Long in the cage, trying to seal things off. Missed exchange on a center cutter, but Columbine's going to keep it. Again, the Chargers, if they can do anything, they want to force those releases from far, far away, outside the 8, hopefully the 12. At least give Alec Long a chance to see it. Here's one, and it gets through.
That goes in, number 20.
Nate Surd with his second goal of the game.
Goal number 2 for Surd.
So it's exactly what you wanted defensively if you're Chatfield. Make a guy shoot from up high or far away. Nate Surd put one through, went down low to the ankles, as you see on the replay. And it gets through Alec Long, and another one on the board for Columbine. 1:51 mark. Nate Surd, his second. And now a 6-goal lead for the Rebels. That fits because I can confirm Nate Surd's helmet's used for some of the marketing for these broadcasts with Stream It Sports. So 2-2 getting some love there, getting his name called out twice for goal scoring.
Ball to Chatfield.
I can confirm that because I'm the one who stole his helmet. You can see in that wide shot the American flag whipping around. Still have those strong gusts coming in, and it is cold. Under 20 degrees is what it feels like out there, which is why you'll see coaching staffs all bundled up still with their hands in their pockets. The Rebels have been hot with 8 on the board in the first half. 1 minute, 15 seconds left. Chatfield gets one up.
Number 1, Josh Larson, a line goal.
How about Josh Larson getting through? There's a nice tight look at the goal score for Chatty. So Lax gets their third. And here's the replay. Whip. Right through Gavin Beelman. Larson, the best shooter on the team in terms of accuracy and velocity. Able to get one through at the 1:16 mark. So a nice quick answer for the Chatfield Chargers. Again, 1:16, second quarter, Joshua Larson, his first for Chatfield. Look at Graham, battle once again, even diving to the turf. His dad seems happy with that effort, just a guess. If you can hear the "Come on, David" through the crowd mics.
Now ball to Columbine.
Unforced error. And Rebels possession. Going to get it, Brock Harmon. Braden Hogan dodging way back there on an aggressive check by Connor Killian. And so an excellent job on the part of the sophomore D-man. Defensive midi, Brock Harmon. Good work, all on his own with the clear. 48 seconds left and counting in the first half. Columbine with a 5-goal lead. Rebels try to push one through into the net before they head into the locker rooms on the north side of the stadium. On a night like this, indoors is a good thing. The timeout taken. 25 seconds left on the clock. And we'll keep it here and eavesdrop in on Coach Sulzbacher and his two sets of units out there. Sulzbacher's squad looking good. Again, we have to reference that Cherry Creek loss on the 4th. Little wake-up hello. There's Coach Sulzbacher right in the middle with his hand up in the air for a moment, white hat. That was a great opportunity last week against the defending champions in Cherry Creek, another perennial powerhouse. And they got jumped on early, but then found themselves later. And now they're trying to reestablish momentum here through the conference run as we pan over to the right and get a look at what Chatfield is up to. Looks like one of the Chatfield players getting worked on a little bit, trying to stretch out a cramp. David Graham, how much effort can that guy give in one game? And it's only been a half of play, so wouldn't be surprised if he's cramped up a little bit. Now we retreat to the wide shot. I have the final 25 seconds left in the half in this Jeffco Lacrosse game, supported by Clovis Point Capital, private equity funding seeking buyout and growth equity investments in U.S.-based lower middle market companies, and All Nippon Airways from the United States to Japan and all of Asia. Tick, tick, 15 seconds left. Shot through, and Nick Darrow has scored. So Nick Darrow with his second of the game. He'll celebrate. Number 40 right there. Well, that was a great feed. Timely cut by Darrow. You see the replay there. Right to the middle, behind the defense. Didn't even know he was coming. Kind of a quick stick effect there. Not much time into the basket. Just right back in and scored. 13-second mark, second quarter. Nick Darrow, his second. And you see Dylan Leinhart with the face-off win. Can they get another one off? Right in the middle, off the post from Gabe Mead. Follow nicely.
Kicked in for a goal for Columbine. 37, Gabe Mead threw the ball at the net. And I think he'll get credit for the goal with Sil. That's his second.
We'll have to take a peek at the replay on that. Was it Leinhart or was it Gabe Mean? Should we send that one up to the booth? Gabe Mean. As our crew is looking at the replay, Gabe Mean is going to get created. Let's see, it bounced off. Boy, that's a tough call. I think it might have gone off a defender, but closest would have been Gabe Mean, so we'll credit Gabe Mean with the goal.
Is completed. Until told otherwise, Mean getting credited with the last goal as it is Columbine 10, Chatfield 3 at the break.
Well, last rush in the final 15 seconds where Nick Darrow scored his second of the game, and then Gabe Mean off the post, then off a foot. And Gabe Mean with his second goal of the game. And it's a strong first half of play for the Columbine Rebels. Top 5 Rebs looking strong with a 7-goal lead at the halftime break on Stream It Sports.
After playing the game for many years, and I decided I could either watch from the couch or get on the field and become part of the game.
I became a judge because it was a natural transition from being a gymnast to coach, now judge.
I love the large crowds, the excitement of the game, and you know what? I got the best seat in the house.
Help these kids. Help this community. Become an official.
Want to be part of the next Post Preps TV broadcast? Pull out those phones. If you've got video of an amazing high school sports highlight, we want to see it. Send it to us so you could be featured in the social spotlight segment of Post Preps TV. Tweet it to us at Post Preps or at Kyle Newman DP, or send us a message on our Facebook page. Your clip might make the cut and be featured on the next episode of Post Preps TV. Colorado's news, wherever you are, whenever you want it. Watch it online 24/7, denverpost.com/DPTV.
Did you know the Denver Post has live audio broadcasts of high school sports games? Listen to the Game of the Week on Post Preps Radio. Go to denverpost.com/preps to find upcoming games or listen to archived coverage. Did you know the Denver Post has live audio broadcasts?
Lakewood, Colorado. We return to Trailblazer Stadium, getting ready for the second half of play. Columbine. The Rebels have a 7-goal lead over their neighborhood rivals, the Chatfield Chargers. Glad to have you here on the west side of the Denver metro area. So you see Dylan Leinhardt and David Graham getting ready to battle once again on the face-off X. This broadcast supported in part by International Aviation Training and Services, trained to fly with the majors, located in Denver in the Stapleton neighborhood, and Clovis Point Capital, private equity funding, U.S.-based. Headquarters down in Houston. Hello to the folks down in the TX. Remains cold. If you look at the wide shot from Mike and his crew, you can see the flag up top. We've had wind gusts up to 31 miles an hour, steadily and consistently at 23 miles per hour winds. Wind chill values at 14 degrees. Chilly. So you'll see a lot of people bundle up. Of course, everyone except for the guys 18 and under, because they got a lot more blood and testosterone running through them. As you see that shot attempt from up high, hit the post. The release by Nate Surd. Surd has 2 goals in the game. Surd is currently cradling the ball, and now we'll send it back down low. Surd, one of 3 different goal scorers with multiple goals in the game. Nate Surd, Gabe Mean, Nick Darrow. And Tanner Hollins also has 2, so there's 4 Columbine players with 2 each in this game. Forgot about Hollins, hasn't scored in a while. He exploded in the first quarter with a pair of goals. And a 7-goal lead for Columbine. Visual reset for you as we get going here in the second half. In white, lengthy possession. That's Columbine, trimmed in the dark blue. They get the shot off down low. Boy, that's a nifty shot on the part of Patrick Stottlemyre.
Stottlemyre has scored for the Rebels.
Went to the left and then bounced it off the turf in front of the crease. Look at that. Nice shot. What's great with this turf, you can see the flubber bounce up in the air from where the ball bounces off the ground. So Stottlemyre scores his first at the 10:24 mark in the third quarter. Now an 8-goal advantage for the Columbine Rebels. Again, Patrick Stottlemyre, 10:24, third quarter. Stottlemyre's first in the game. Rebels 6-1 on the year, 1-0 in conference. Chargers 4-4, also 1-0 in the Jeffco Conference. Right now it's the Rebels who are looking strongest with that 8-goal advantage, and again with possession. That changed a little bit in the second quarter where Chatfield had some momentum. That's a lot of credit to David Graham and what he's done as a face-off artist for Chatfield. That second quarter looked pretty promising for Chatfield. They were able to get 3 goals in. But otherwise, a whole lot of and too much of the Columbine Rebels, one of the top 5 teams in the 5A classification here in Colorado Lacrosse. We await the release and the couple of jab steps on the approach by David Dooley. Never did shoot the ball. The Rebels continue to work it around. That's Grossman, has 1 goal in the game. Gabe Mean. reversing it, back up top. And there's Dooley again. Seen a lot of Dooley in this game. Chatfield defensively still sticking with their mission of packing it in and forcing Columbine to take shots from up top. There's a center cutter. Poor receive. People trying to find the ball. You see swivel heads. And eventually coming out with it is the hustling Leo Grossman. Meanwhile, shoe on the turf, and that is Leo Grossman. It's not a shoe. It's a left glove, and Grossman able to have time to go get it. So he's readjusted himself. I got fooled. You can see Grossman has a whole lot of spat going on. Looks like all white from the hips to the toes. Shot attempt, Gabe Mean. It's wide. Nearest Columbine
ball.
.742 and counting on the clock. Shot by Mean, and Gabe Mean has a hat trick.
Scores for Columbine, his third. Dooley helping to set him up.
So the future Utah Utes now has 3 on the board. Gabe Mean at 7:38 in the third quarter. We've referenced what happened in that Cherry Creek game a week ago. Some great comments from his head coach, Henry Sulzbacher, talking about Gabe Mean. He's just the rock. I asked, who's the guy that you lean on, you know, in a situation like that, where you got a learning, a schooling from the defending champs. And he talked about Gabe Mean and what Gabe Mean represents the program. Not a vocal guy, just a steady rock. Well, the rock smells like 3 goals in this game. And it is a 9-goal advantage for the Columbine Rebels. Good thing for Chatfield, though, they've got possession right now, and they'll work it around. That wind continues to pick up, and it's blowing in from the north. Ball down, Liner can't pick it up, and eventually gets the GB. And a nice soft toss. Gets back to the ground. Who chased it down? Some contact out there between Chargers and Rebels, as you might expect in any sport. So it takes a while for the Rebels to clear, and there's a long send downfield to Gabe Mean. Crowd reacts. They wanted the one-time exchange where Mean might get it and release and score a goal. Not the case. Here come the Chargers. Chatfield moving upfield. Donovan McMahon sends it back up to Brian Pierce. This way, Charlie Wildermuth. And to the near side, Connor Killian has a goal in the game for Chatfield. Takes some contact to the sternum and retreats a little bit. Back home, Connor Ross, a little bit of trouble. Stick check, ball still on the ground. That's excellent defense on the part of Columbine. Jake Hinson, the senior, doing a good job recognizing. Ball still down. Chatfield's going to keep it, though. Shot to the shoulder and still advancing for Chatfield. Killian. And back over near side here to Brian Pierce. Both Killian and Pierce have goals in the game for Chatty. Joshua Larson, the other goal scorer. It's a good possession for Chatfield. See if they can capitalize and get the goal reward. Nice dodge, splitting defenders, but then it's knocked loose. Backside check above the head by Andy Stash. And that's good work. D mid, the senior Stash forcing the turnover. Here comes Columbine once again with a 9-goal lead. 7:15, 6:44 Mountain Time. Lakewood, Colorado. Chili. Behind the back. And that is high. Gabe Mean with the trick shot behind the shoulder and his 4th goal of the game. Watch the replay here. Receives. Whew. Over the left shoulder, behind the head, Gabe Mean looking good on digital television here on Stream It Sports. Gabe Mean, 4:27 mark, 3rd quarter. Scores his 4th of the game. Now a double-digit advantage for the Columbine Rebels. More work on the face-off X for Robert Connolly, who's done a great job. He's got a tough stud to deal with, though, in David Graham. Oh, scrum, battle, chaos, ball still down. Who's going to come out with it? It's Chatfield. 2-on-1, numbers are right. Release, and it's off the post. Connor Ross can't get it through. Chatfield's going to keep it. Are they nearest?
Still Chatfield ball.
Yes. Hockey talk, odd man rush, Chatfield, and they hit the post and couldn't get the goal.
That'll be Columbine ball.
That was an exciting possession for the Chatfield Chargers. A whole lot going on. All started with that battle off of the face-off. They can't get one in, and here comes Columbine. Right to left on your monitor. Be it the tablet, the mobile phone, the big screen in the man cage, or the man cave, right? The resourceful dad. .319 left, 3rd quarter, 10-goal lead, Columbine.
I don't see with the Rebels.
Good hustle on the part of the goaltender, Alec Long. And pardon me, that's Daniel Nichols now in. Nick Mandia talked about how he had his 2-headed goalie monster, 2 very capable goalies who really kind of run the show for themselves. They will decide if they need to make a switch up. Wait for the shot.
Nichols, the new goalie with a save.
On a hard angle from Andy Stash. Well, with 13 on the board, Chatfield has made a change in goal, and that's Daniel Nichols. So it's appropriate after we talked about what those 2 guys mean in the cage for Chatfield. We have gotten a look at Nichols. Meanwhile, numbers clearly not correct for Wildermuth. He's trying to battle 2 and 3 white jerseys and still alive. Great work on the part of Wildermuth, and Chatfield's going to come out with it. Carson Gibbler. Here's an old school reference for Dad. That was like Porky's. The blonde guy, go walk right into the bar in the middle of all those guys. Swinging, fighting, staying alive, no help. Well, Wildermuth, great job. And eventually leads to the extended possession for Chatfield. See if the Chargers can thin their deficit down to a single digit, and they do, and how appropriate. It's the junior midi, Charlie Wildermuth, with the score. He's the one who created that possession with his hustle, and here's the replay. Long pole, left-handed release from way up high above the 8, and able to get one in. 1:42 mark, Charlie Wildermuth with the score for the Chatfield Chargers. Nick Mandia is going to like that work from his junior mid. Now I get the challenge of spelling out Wildermuth on my scoring summary. Yeah, spelling's not our thing. for talent, in quotes, finger quotes. Right. 90 seconds left and counting, remaining in the third quarter here. 9-goal lead for the Columbine Rebels. Most recent goal, though, Charlie Wildermuth. Just all hustle and a great shot from up top. Bring it back down to single digits here. More of the same, though. Rebels setting up with a very quick clear. Now they're waiting for mids to check in, including Nate Surd, who has 2 goals in the game. Lead goal scorer in the contest is Gabe Mean. He has 4, and his most recent goal was that trick shot behind the shoulders. .39 seconds left in the third here. One last shot attempt from the Rebels before we go into the fourth. We'll see. Still see that flag whipping as a shot comes the way of Daniel Nichols. Now he's pressured by Gabe Mean. Down to the ground. That's a good battle right there. Look at that effort by Gabe Mean. Has 4 goals and still hustling like that. 4 seconds left, and 3, 2, and 1. We should hear the horn right about now.
That's all for the third quarter, fourth quarter, forthcoming.
Kind of a subtle, soft horn. The paddy wagon just let out the siren, and that is indeed the end of the third. So Columbine still up 9 and looking good here at Trailblazer on Stream It Sports.
There comes a time in every athlete's life when their participation in sports is coming to an end, and so officiating is a way to stay involved.
The day I started officiating is just as fun as now.
When I'm officiating, making decisions, a decision that's instantaneous, for me there's no greater feeling.
I became an official because I wanted to give back.
Get off the couch and get into the game.
Become an official.
.12 minutes of lacrosse left. Fourth quarter about to start up on this Jeffco Lacrosse game, brought to you in part by All Nippon Airways from the United States to Japan and all of Asia, and Pan Am International Flight Academy, training support for airlines and aviation professionals with an instruction heritage rooted to the earliest days of airline flight training. Also thanks to Clovis Point Capital and International Aviation Training and Services for helping to support this good luck of these stud athletes so they can get some love. The beautiful visuals provided by Phil Mildren and Mike Trujillo and their crew. I'm just along for the ride, Marty Cesario. Glad to be here to watch these guys play. Also, special thanks to the Denver Post for carrying this broadcast on their Facebook platform. We appreciate that. 9-goal lead for the Columbine Rebels. Nothing's going to change in those top 5 standings for them. Still one of the best. Still just 1 loss. And it's looking like they're going to take a W today, even with 11 and a half minutes left here in this final quarter. I looked around and checked some of the lax scores around the state. Big one between Mountain Vista and Chaparral. The Golden Eagles with a 10-7 win over the Wolverines. Lakewood on this turf here earlier today. Lakewood still just with 1 loss on the season. Tigers with an 18-10 win over Pine Creek. Last we checked, Kent Denver with a 7-1 halftime lead over Denver East.
That made it in for a goal for Columbine.
For which one?
And getting it, number 20, Tanner Hollins for the Rebels.
We do have a final, Kent Denver with a 14-4 win over East. And meanwhile, we have another goal scored for the Rebels at the 10:59 mark here in the fourth. Tanner Hollins scoring his third of the contest. Andy Lowry's pretty pumped about that, getting a hat trick from his running back. Joke around, Hollins plays for one of the best football programs in the state. You know, I still like the Sulzbacher comment saying Tanner Hollins still pretty raw as a lacrosse player. If he just show up to a couple of tournaments and put 20-20 on his chest, probably get 2 offers. So based on athleticism and what he's shown. Again, Hollins scores at 10:59, fourth quarter, and his third goal of the game, and back up to a double-digit advantage for the Rebels, and now we'll extend that.
Way in for a goal for Columbine. And number 40, Nick Darrow, kind of threw it up.
Now Nick Darrow has his third of the game.
That is his third for Columbine.
Looked like it hit post and still got through. Look at Chatfield still talking about it. It's pretty impressive on the screen when you send one from up top and the goaltender ends up flat on his belly, and you get one through and find the twine. Nick Darrow, his third, 10:26 in the fourth quarter. Top suspects have shown very well here on this broadcast, including Nick Darrow, scoring his third right there. Another score from Missouri, R.J. Rockhurst. How about those Raiders? 18-4 over Rockhurst. Jim Soren has a strong lacrosse club in 2018 and has for quite a while over the past 2 decades. Chargers trailing by 11 here with possession. Under 10 to play, 9:52, 9:50 left in the fourth. Once again, remind you of one tech flaw on your score bug, no running clock, and that's because of the wind damage here at the stadium yesterday. Apparently the nor'easter came in from the Rockies. I'll never be a meteorologist. Apparently some damage to the towerage and the gigapootage, and so that's why Phil Mildren and his crew cannot input the score or the time from the scoreboard on your score bug. It's 9:19 left, so I'll handle that verbally, much to your chagrin. 9:11 left here in the fourth, and a comfy advantage for the Columbine Rebels, looking to finish this game off and take a 7th win on the season and a 2nd within the Jeffco Conference. Ooh, man down, that's David Dooley. He's been very active in this game. Look at Dooley step into the play. He'll send one, and really not much of a threat for Daniel Nichols. Nice reaction by Nichols. Go chase it down. Now Nichols gonna bring it up. And a long clear, bounces off the ground. Who's gonna chase it down? It'll be the long pull for Chatfield. Cade Gannon. So Gannon does nice work there, the junior D-man. Now Chatfield will have an established possession, which we have not seen much of in this contest. Did very well in the second quarter, I believe. But otherwise, a whole lot of Columbine in the attacking zone. 8:13 left, fourth quarter. Columbine up 11. Chatfield with possession in maroon. Larson calling for helpers, and he gets some. Brody Austin up top. Well, that's a tough angle. Wild shot. Creative on the part of Connor Killian. Unforced error on the clear across the midline there, so Chatfield will have it once again. Take a look at the broadcast schedule coming up. We've already seen the Creek Columbine game, Chatfield here against the rivals Columbine. We got two ahead, both include the Rebels. Dakota having a strong year. They'll play on the 20th. And then Wheat Ridge will come just a little bit south and visit the Rebels. Both those games coming up here on Stream It Sports, and they will be live on this turf at Trailblazer Stadium. We'll all be hoping for more of that springtime weather we love in Colorado. Raise the temperature a little bit. Here comes a shot. Ooh! Yeah, right now we're sitting at 30 degrees. The wind chill makes it feel like 15. Gusts up to 30 miles an hour. Mama, I need some chicken soup. 7:06 left, fourth quarter. Columbine, big lead. Some new faces out there. Let's call their names. Robbie Stash, cradling it for a moment. That's Aiden Sievert up top here. Coach Sulzbacher getting some different guys minutes out on the field. Center cutter. And a missed exchange. Who's going to chase it down? That's Gustafson. Instead, possession awarded to the Chargers. 6:34 on the clock here in the fourth quarter. Nick Darrow with 3 goals. Gabe Mean has 4. Tanner Hollins has 3. Nate Surd has 2. Rebels look pretty sharp offensively. 6:20 left and counting. Dad's calling out Gail Sayers' number. What was that? No, that was 40. Yeah, who's 41? Who's a famous 41? Nice call in the booth, Rob Lytle and Brian Piccolo. That's clutch right there. We'll have to tap the guys from Lacrosse talk on that for the aid, the helpers. .545 left. Reserves out there for Columbine in white with the sizable lead. Missed receive there by Dean Hives. Going to chase it down and then a whistle blown.
Chatfield with the ball.
Crowd getting unruly and anxious to finish this one up. 5:15 left on the clock. Hot cocoa machines are dry. Yeah, I think Team Mom got sent with her King Supers card over to replenish the vats on a very chilly night at Trailblazer Stadium. 4:55 left in the fourth quarter here with a 15-4 lead for the Columbine Rebels. See if Chatfield can send one through here, bring it to within 10. Chatfield taking it on the chin today, but they've already got 4 wins on the season. They'll drop to 4-5 and even at 1-1 in the Jeffco Conference. Chatty's got LP coming up, Pine Creek, Heritage. Then Lakewood looking ahead. We mentioned earlier Lakewood won today against Pine Creek. Oh, off the crossbar. Still alive. Larson tries to send one back the way of Gavin Beelman. And that's not Beelman in net.
Tegan Simons in net for Columbine.
Tegan Simons, the junior, making the save there. Rebels coming up on their schedule. Those Tigers from Lakewood, 8-1. So really in the Jeffco Conference is the two challengers. As you see that shot not get through, that's off the helmet of one of the defenders for Chatfield. I believe Cody Freeman took that off the back of the lid. You can see on the screen going twice to his helmet. Those lacrosse balls, not Nerf material. That'll hurt.
Just a precautionary feint after that.
Good for
deflection.
Cody, showing a little toughness, coming off. Not going down though. Ouch. I'm sure the medical staff will get together with him. 3:38 left here in the fourth. Columbine on the way to their 7th win of the season. And before Cody Freeman took one to the head, talking about the next two opponents coming up for the Rebels, probably the two of the toughest challengers within their conference, Lakewood, then Dakota Ridge. That Dakota Ridge game will be displayed here on Stream It Sports. Another save by Tegan Simons. Kind of run out the clock. Even 3 minutes left here in the final frame. If you want more verification on the scheduling, go ahead and tap the crew here at Stream It Sports as you see the goal scored by Columbine. I think that's appropriate. Out of the starting attackers, Taylor hadn't scored yet, so Gustafson getting one on the board, so good work on the part of the junior attackman, Taylor Gustafson.
The normal timing rules will go back into effect.
First goal of the evening for Taylor Gustafson, 2:46, fourth quarter. 16 on the board collectively for the Columbine Rebels. Again, 2:46, fourth quarter, Taylor Gustafson, his first. Leinart win, look at that, that's nice work. Nice challenge on the part of the goaltender, Daniel Nichols. Not sitting back on his heels, he attacked the attackman. And that boded well, no ball in the net. Still possession continues for the Rebels, 2:22 left here in the fourth. We've got running clock established by the Rebels. Here's some different voices through the crowd mics, hoping for one of their young men to maybe score a goal, have a moment. Oh, those voices are the toughest people in the stands. Those be the lax moms. 1:42 left here in the fourth. Columbine on their way to their 7th victory. .124 on the clock. Well, that's nice work. Let's give him some credit. Landon Phelan, the sophomore D-man, takes contact. Ball went down, and good hustle on the part of Joshua Larson. 59 seconds left in the fourth. See if Chatfield can put one through. No, that shot wide off the stick of Connor Ross. .40 seconds left in this contest. There's a shot, and it gets through, and a second goal of the game for Charlie Wildermuth.
Number 3 for Chatfield, that is his second.
Good work, 3. And there's your replay. Splits defenders. Then the defense opens up for him. Left-hand release from the shoulder. And he gets another goal. Again, second goal of the game for Charlie Wildermuth at the 31-second mark in the fourth quarter. .22 seconds left. Chatfield approaching once again in the attacking zone. Great job getting into the play. Blake Colonel. They're counting it off. 3, 2, 1. Should hear the siren. And there it is.
So that is at the final score, Columbine 16, Chatfield 5. Devin, Rob, thanking all of you for
impressive performance on the part of the Columbine Rebels.
Those who are leaving, hope you
it fits your expectations, but
you
had to stay on your toes because when you have Columbine and Chatfield in any sport, there is no love, and they will get after each other. But on this night, it's the Rebels. Very big. Gabe Neen with 4 goals. Tanner Hollins had 3. Nick Darrow had 3.
Still open for all spectators.
A whole lot of productivity on the attack for the Columbine Rebels, who moved to 7-1 on the season. I want to thank Phil Mildren and Mike Trujillo along with their crew. Great work there. Thanks to our participating supporters, All Nippon Airways, Pan Am International Flight Academy, Clovis Point Capital, and International Aviation Training and Services. Again, final score 16-5. Columbine with the win over Chatfield. I'm Marty Cesario. We say good night from Trailblazers Stadium in Lakewood.
There comes a time in every athlete's life when their participation in sports is coming to an end, and so officiating is a way to stay involved.
The day I started officiating is just as fun as now.
When I'm officiating, making decisions, a decision that's instantaneous, for me there's no greater feeling.
I became an official because I wanted to give back.
Get off the couch and get into the game.
Become an official.